Hello, it is I, Cyber Salty, your favorite unfunny cyberpunk edgelord. Today, I'm here with a different kind of video where I'm more or less just going to be rambling and talking about something that I've seen on Twitter that let's just say that didn't make me very happy. Well, considering the fact that this is on Twitter of all things, what doesn't want to make me blow my brains out every time I scroll through that fucking hellhole. But anyway, the thing that ultimately pissed me off was about this twitlonger about how white people are basically the bane of existence to black people and how white people can't play or voice act as a black character or a VTuber, but it's okay the other way around because black people's beefies are hurt or something over the internet, and white people should just basically kill themselves because no one likes them. And I genuinely would not be surprised if that was the sole intention of the twitlonger, because I'm just gonna be honest, guys. I didn't read it. I can't read it. I don't want to read it because I already know what the fuck it's going to be about because of the goddamn title. And since we're on the title, yes, I understand that it says non-black people, but we all know this. It's about fucking white people. If she says otherwise, she's just fucking lying to everyone. I mean, this is Twitter we're talking about. The site that is known for directing hatred towards the right people, which is just only white people most of the time. And if you guys think I'm being wrong or disingenuous, well,
thank the whites, thank the whites, you know you don't. Thank the Lord, you thank the whites.
And not only that, thanks to this bullshit twitlonger, it also had a bunch of Yas Queen Slay It Girl types of women decided to make their own hashtag called hashtag Silent White Voices. Oh wait, what? Oh, really? Oh, sorry about that, guys. It's called hashtag Vtubers event, but I mean, it basically means the same thing if you look at the tweets with the hashtag, while also making a neo-progressive anti-white group discussion safe space on Twitter alongside with the hashtag to talk about how black people are underrepresented in the VTuber community and white people are defiling our culture by making a black character or some shit. The usual anti-white propaganda shit that you would see on BuzzFeed or Voxer or whatever. And I don't know what I was expecting when I wanted to hear the talking points of these people. I couldn't sit through like 2 minutes of these people just squalling in high-pitched voices, just basically circle jerking each other, especially considering the fact that this is a Twitter safe space. So obviously by design of Twitter safe spaces, of course they're not going to get anyone that had a challenging viewpoint, because we need to protect black voices, okay? No matter how unhinged or how racist they can possibly be, we need to protect all black voices. We need to protect all voices of people of color, okay? And speaking of which, after leaving the call from sitting in it for about 2 minutes, as I said, I decided to join back for a couple seconds to see what bullshit they were trying to pull. And I shit you not, one of the multiple people that joined and just talked about how they have no backbone and just cried into a corner of how quote-unquote oppressed they are. One of the many speakers I heard was a deep-voiced black dude trying to imitate a high-pitched anime girl voice, starting the conversation with, hey, yeah, I'm an independent black woman and my pronouns are she and they. I immediately lost my shit, decided that I needed to get blocked by one of the ones that started the safe space, which happened almost instantly, I might add. And thank God I did, because I did not want to hear any more of Okay, so now that I've told you guys the basic gist of everything, I think you guys can understand why I'm making this video. More or less the fact that this is something that's been happening in a lot of communities where black people would just be so proud and so inclusive and so respectful towards themselves about having, such high morals, but at the same time being so vicious and unhinged towards white people for basically just existing and being proud of that fact too, not realizing that these hateful things and slurs towards white people is the very definition of racism, and just also have a complete lack of self-awareness. I mean, no one is going to listen to Tyrone or Bonquisha when they go hashtag BLM, hashtag ACAB, listen to strong independent POC color, and then turn around and call white people mayo monkeys and crackers. I mean, it's just so hypocritical to see all this. Like, these are the type of black people, the ones that that claim to be so wholesome ooh anime girls that would never hurt a fly will absolutely turn out to be one of the most toxic and the most viciously racist types of people that you will ever see. And I'm also not trying to say that all of black people in the artist or anime community is 100% racist towards white people, but it's definitely a unhealthy amount of them. And also considering that I'm a dark chocolate flavored Hershey Kiss retard, I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to say that. Like, the most prevalent examples that I've seen, at least, come from the, the stuff that I mentioned earlier, the twitlonger, the quote tweets from it, and the black people that enjoy anime, especially the ones that have the highest morals in their opinions towards blackwashing a character in anime, which is an Asian character most of the time, is 100% okay, but switch the words around with whitewashing and then it all of a sudden becomes a problem and it needs to be addressed and hashtag kill all white people. And like I said earlier, these people do not have any self-awareness. Race bending an already existing character for no particular reason other than a representation is very, very bad, and it just makes it seem like black people can't be good characters on their own volition. But ayo, my boy Tyrone and my brothers and my other sisters are never represented in entertainment media, so it's always some fucking ways that always get the pop. Shut the fuck up, you ghetto ass monkey. The reason why they aren't in the anime to begin with was probably because I don't know, it's the anime's in fucking Japan and 98% of Japan's population is Japanese. Like, your guys' reasoning for blackwashing falls flat on its fucking face due to you guys changing canonically Asian characters and taking away their culture and their representations for cheap brownie points over the fucking internet. But I mean, if the anime was produced in America, well, hopefully blackwashing would still not be okay, because I mean, you wouldn't see Stan Lee approving shit like Spider-Man catching the Coon symbiote that turns his skin black and becoming a black villain, robbing people and attacking other black people. That actually sounds really fucking funny. I actually really want to see that. No, he made a new character and had his uncle do that shit. He made a new character with spider abilities and had him work alongside Spider-Man and wrote him into a good and well-remembered character. And even at that point, his skin color didn't make him a good character, just like how being black doesn't make you a good artist or a fucking writer or a VTuber. Like, I keep seeing this shit. Whenever something big like the twitlonger happens or something BLM related happens, there's always gonna be those people trying to milk their fucking skin color for internet brownie points and virtue signaling. Shit like follow black artists and have them get represented, or giving drawing lessons to black artists because nobody else, because there isn't enough artists to make and consume hentai, and more artists regardless of skin color would definitely benefit. No, fuck that. Just black people. And all the people that promoted themselves are nothing but a bunch of shit coloring, shit body proportions, and just all around terrible artists all around, coupled with the fact that they have terrible opinions and just terrible personalities altogether, especially considering the fact that they use their blackness in order to amass a following on Twitter of all places. Following an artist for no reason other than they're saying that they're black is just not only racist, but it also goes against MLK's I Have a Dream speech where he says,
"My poor little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character."
Like, no matter how many times I see people try to explain to these, these self-righteous morality police people, it's like talking to a fucking brick wall to these people, especially considering the fact that you will literally see people say that they will block you for even trying to counter their viewpoint or trying to reason with them. Just take a look at the bitch that made the twit longer. Speaking of which, I should actually probably get into the twit longer because I keep referencing and talking about it, and looking at my audio recordings, it looks like I'm almost at about 10 minutes. I'm still not going to read the twit longer, fuck that, but I will read her stupid as fuck tweets and what she retweeted after the twit longer was posted. Starting with, "If you're not black, please do not portray yourself as black." May I ask, what does portraying yourself or acting black even fucking mean? Black people are humans just like you and me, so I'm not really sure what she's trying to say here. To me, it sounds like she's saying, in order to be black, you have to listen to rap music, say the N-word a lot, and just talk about big booty bitches all the time. I mean, I'm black and I don't say any of that shit, well, except for the big booty bitches part. So if someone makes fun of the way I act or how I portray myself, is that making fun of people like me, or is that still making fun of black people? If you're seriously the type of person to say, if you're black, then you should act and portray black, then that says a lot more about you than the guy that has a darker skin tone VTuber model. I saw someone say, oh, so people just can't make black VTuber models? And I never said that? The point of the Twitlung was about people passing themselves off as black VTubers when they are not. Drawing black people as characters, art, VTubers, in my opinion, is not an issue at all. In fact, my VTuber model was made by someone who isn't black. There's nothing wrong with it, and I even explicitly stated that I don't have an issue with non-black people drawing black characters or commissions. It's more so if they are acting as those black characters themselves. Again, what does acting black even mean? If we're going off what you retweeted earlier, and after a little bit of digging, your VTuber model has the same skin tone as Sana from HoloLive, people might go into your stream and go, wait a minute, you're not black, you actually speak properly, and your favorite foods aren't grape soda and chicken. I would love to hear your opinion about what black people actually sound and act like. You're probably gonna say that they're a bunch of rapping, gun-toting thugs or some racist shit like that. Another thing I've seen people say, oh, what about making characters in MMO, so we're not allowed to do that? Again, this is having a character. If you want to design a black character and play them in a video game, I don't see an issue with it as long as it isn't racist. But Cup of Coon, you retweeted a tweet earlier saying that being black is not a necessary. If you're okay with people designing black characters and playing them in a video game, then they can 100% play a black character as a VTuber. I mean, people fake their appearance and become their OCs all the time on VR chat, so why is this all of a sudden an issue? And then the classic case of whataboutism. Oh, what about male VTubers using female VTubers, huh? Yes, I acknowledge that women do unfortunately face misogyny in different ways and aspects. I'm not going to go in depth about it. However, gender is fluid, while race is not. I'm just gonna skip this part. Not because I don't want to, it's just because I just don't know how to break the cold hard truth to these people. You will never be a I wanted to quote tweet this because this is exactly my issue with it and perfectly reflects my thoughts on it. Skin color is not necessary. I didn't make my VTuber black to make it more fashionable. I did it because I myself am a black person and I wanted to represent that. You know, you don't always have to make a character that represents yourself all the time. You do understand that, right? Most of the time, people make anime girl characters to look at some nice titties or a big ass, you know? Like I said earlier, people fake their appearance and use their OCs in VR chat all the time, so why is this all of a sudden an issue? Make up your fucking minds. And even then, VTuber models and characters aren't real, so I'm not sure why you would give so much of a shit about it anyway. Also, to the people who are saying like, oh, what about white people using Asian models as their identities? I myself am not Asian, so I feel like it's not my place to speak for it, but that doesn't mean you can't start your own conversation on it. It's just not the discussion. As far as I know, Asian people don't give a shit if you use an Asian model or an identity. Well, unless, you know, you're acting Asian or whatever the hell type of argument that Cup of Coon used earlier. People use Asian characters like hiragana and katakana all the time. That doesn't mean they are Asian, it just means they like the culture behind it. As far as I know, no one lost their minds when Twin Tails, an Australian VTuber, made an outfit based on Japanese culture. Every time I see Asian people angry at Westerners using Asian characters, it's usually because they don't understand what the term or phrases actually mean and just use a bunch of characters and phrases just, you know, all willy-nilly. Then yeah, I can understand why they would be angry, but most of the time Asian people don't care because they're just glad and, you know, cool that their culture is just being recognized across the world. If you guys can actually find an Asian person angry, not an Asian American exposed to Western culture, an Asian that's native from Japan or any other Eastern Asian country, that's upset with the same reason why Cup of Coon is also upset, then please at me on Twitter with a screenshot, because I couldn't find anything other than Westerners speaking on behalf of Asian people saying why you shouldn't use Asian characters because you're taking away their culture or some other shit. And by the way, Cup of Coon, your VTuber art style is based on anime. I don't think you should be using that since you're not Asian yourself. You're taking away Asian people's culture because anime comes from Japan, and you're gonna make Asian people upset if you keep using that avatar, especially considering the fact that you want to be a VTuber. That's also a trend that comes from Japan. You see how I can flip the script on you and it will still mean the same thing and it would be just as nonsensical as your original argument, but you're probably just gonna gloss over this fact because you're just a dumb cunty bitch. Also, one more thing, to the people going, oh, so people of other races can't voice black characters? Voicing a character and acting as if you are the character itself are again two completely different things. VTubing is beyond giving a character a voice, especially as a streamer, because you're still putting you and yourself into the responses and the reactions to the actual other people outside of a script, therefore not making it comparable in the slightest. This tweet falls flat on its fucking face when you see the shit that Cup of Coon is retweeting, especially from this fucking idiot. He keeps going on about how black people are 100% okay to play and act white characters in VTubers because they don't have privilege, and pulls the Fag Joey and Coon Thuman route and goes, it's okay when we do it, but it's not okay when you do it. So which one is it, Cup of Coon? You clearly agree with the guy because you thought it was a good idea to retweet all of his tweets, so can white people voice black characters or can't they because they have to act a certain way in order to be black? Nobody lost their minds when Mike Henry voiced Cleveland Brown for 20 years, well, until recently, on a show that consistently makes fun of black people. And to flip the script, nobody lost their minds when Phil Lamar voiced an Asian character that's canonically from feudal Japan, so why is this all of a sudden an issue? Voice acting a character without having any regards for the VA skin color literally creates jobs for everyone. And I thought that was a good thing. Like, I don't understand why these black people love creating a double standard. They keep going on about how everyone but white people can do this and betray and make jokes about white people. But when white people do the same thing to them, then it's all of a sudden a bad thing now. Playing, making, or portraying black characters is not an issue. I genuinely don't think that people that have a black character or an Asian character or a Mexican one genuinely believes that they are that character's skin color. Well, unless they're making a stereotypical racist joke or something, which is probably a good thing for these people. People make OCs of different skin colored people all the time. 99% of the people that do that aren't being racist. They most likely are just attracted to darker skin tones. And if you're gonna bring up the skin tones aren't fashionable argument, well then I can think of a couple websites that proves that skin colors are a fashion statement to some people. I really wish that wasn't the case, but I guess it just really goes to show you that there are those specific websites out there that cater to specific towards of weirdos on the internet with that one kink in mind. But I think I ranted enough to you guys of what my stance on all of this is, but seeing how I haven't actually said my stance yet, I don't care what characters you make. I'm pretty sure most rational people don't care what characters you make. Limiting your characters to what represents you is only limiting your creative freedom. Don't listen to people like Cup of Coon or the rest of the sensitivity mob on Twitter that will only accept you if you act a certain way in order to be black or white, red, blue, yellow, or whatever, because that's just racist. And even if you do try to change your VTuber model to appease them, most people aren't going to care about you and just move on to the other guy that's playing a VTuber character. And don't even think about trying to reason with them because they're not going to change their minds in the end, so it's all fucking pointless in the end anyway. Although, seeing how I am black, I would love for Cup of Coon to watch this video, especially after I found these tweets of hers, especially this one. I love when someone who isn't part of the black community tries to speak over their issues. Heart emoji. What a fucking bitch. But Cup of Coon, if you do watch this video, you haven't liked and retweeted my fan art review. I spent a lot of time on that. But you're probably not going to watch this video because you're a self-righteous, sensitive, tone-deaf little skank. But anyway, I think that's been enough ranting for today. I hope you guys enjoyed me screaming at you for like 20 minutes on why these black people are racist and you should never listen to them. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching that, and will you guys excuse me? I'm gonna go get canceled on Twitter now. Bye.